Hello everyone and welcome to today's session, How to Drive Down Customer Churn. I'm Ana Escudero, I'm part of the Customer Experience team within Oracle, and I'm your moderator and webinar organizer, together with our partner BPI On Demand. Today's panelists are Stephen Brewer, former CEO of Vodafone, and Fred Wilkinson, Manager Director of BPI On Demand. They are going to talk about how the Internet of Things, social media, cloud, mobility, and CX are changing the way we interact with our customers. During the session, you'll be able to submit your questions using the chat pane located near the bottom of the control panel. We have allocated 15 minutes at the end of the session to answer as many of those questions as we can. The format of the webinar is going to be a dialogue between Fred and Stephen, so I hope you enjoy it. Now I'm going to give the word to Stephen, who's going to give a brief introduction to the topic. Stephen, please.
Thanks very much, Anna. Good morning, everybody. Hope you enjoy this session. We talk about churn and reducing churn. Basically, in the telco business, that means losing customers, but it applies to any business. Your customers are your assets. And what we'll talk about is not just stopping losing customers, but winning them as well. Nothing happens in a company till you sell something, and finding customers is hard. But it's even harder to keep them. You have to do the right things well, and businesses are forced by technology and market conditions to actually keep improving the way they operate. It used to be looking after customers and customer service, and it was broadly called CRM, but now it's a total customer experience, or CX as it's shorthanded. So what we're trying to do today is get you to ask the question, what is your business doing to keep its customers and win new ones? And we hope by the end of the session, we'll have persuaded some of you to join us. Now, I'd like to hand back to Fred to go through the agenda and what we're going to talk about on that process.
Hey, thank you, Stephen, and thank you for joining the webinar today. Really excited to share some new ideas and thoughts around how to engage with, let's face it, not businesses these days. Businesses don't exist in my mind. They're a collection of people. So how do we engage with those people? They're buying products online. Stephen mentioned it on the previous slide, and so did Anna. They're buying through mobiles. They're buying through social media. The big data is all around us. How do we harness it? Because actually it's just articulating about what people are doing in what we've classified as their digital body language. So without further ado, let me introduce properly, because he was very, very modest earlier on the call. Stephen founded Apple with Steve Jobs over in Europe. So I'm going from the bottom up here. And he's been consulting and helping smaller and mid-sized and larger organizations, not just in the telecoms industry, but in terms of this new Internet of Things, the cloud, and the interconnectability with cloud and telecoms businesses. Now working, and I'm so looking at the next slide, highlighting what's going on. Stephen, what's changed?
Fred, thanks for that kind introduction. Yes, I've done lots of different things, but there's a few things which actually, to me, are very vital. A business should be joined up. There are too many siloed departments, and the larger the company gets, the more differentiated they become. So the sales don't talk to marketing, accounts don't talk to customer service, and so on. That interaction matters. If the company works together as a group, they serve the customer together as a group. We have to see how customers are acting, how they join you, what their activity is. You used a phrase there about the digital body language, which I think is fascinating, and what every company should do it. Look at the success of small online businesses now. They're using the technology which is available to ensure that they serve the customer really well, and that then wins customers and keeps customers.
When someone asked me the other day, how do you describe CRM, and what we would probably call CX now, how do you describe it? And I think I sort of feel that CRM is quite simple no matter what department you're in. We talk and interact with our customers every day. Where do you store, report, and record on all of those interactions? So moving on to the next slide here, this is some very simplistic concept of what I've just described in the top cog of this this three-legged wheel, if you will, what we call in the middle churn management. Are you aware of the conversations around your business, no matter what department you're in? How do you consider, how do you purchase, how do those clients interact with you, and how are you repeating and referring all the way through that customer journey? And it's probably a little bit small on your screens, and apologies for that, but you can see the icons all the way through inside that customer journey, what we call the channels of communication, whether it's a Facebook, Twitter, whether it's a phone call into your organization, whether it's a webinar like today. The journey that you've all been on to get to this webinar is not by accident. We've wanted to understand and learn and meet more people like you guys on this call. Moving down to the right-hand side, it's about creating not just a CRM tool for sales, not just a CRM tool for marketing, etc., through the different departments. It is about a single customer view of all of those interactions, collecting it, making sure it's clean, enhancing that with all kinds of additional data that's available in the market and the world around us, appending it and driving what we call customer profiles. And then the secret sauce is then understanding how you want to segment those and predict that behavior, those behaviors. And what I will say now is the kind of statement of fact in our world. We believe CRM is dead. CRM was a siloed set of tools for different departments that somehow, some of them were integrated a little bit, but now with Oracle CX customer experience, there is a complete set, no matter what department you're in, completely integrated to drive the model you can see right in front of your face. So I'm going to introduce you, as I said on the agenda, into what we call personas. So personas are not what we used to classify historically a demographic where what city are they in, what's their email address, what do they have as a job title. That's what we just sort of classify as their attributes. Personas is much more to do with their behavior. We want to find more people like you who buy our products. We want to find out what your engagement with our organization is, no matter what department you're talking to or engaging with. So it's preferences, it's fears, it's goals and challenges around the people.
The shotgun approach isn't the way. It's rifle shot today. Otherwise, you're wasting time, money, and effort and getting great many disappointments. There are 4 groups on this slide, and I'm going to start with the bottom right-hand corner, the sleeping dogs. If you attack these people too often with all the social media, the marketing, the sales, the knocking on the door, not only are you wasting your salesmen's and marketing money, you're wasting the time because you're going to upset this guy. You really should let sleeping dogs lie. Now, I'll come to actually communicating to these people at a later stage. The other ones on the right-hand side are the sure things. They're friends of the business. They probably know as much about your product as you do, and they know when to get the new release, how to adapt it in their company. They're sure things. The top left-hand corner are the ones we want to focus on, the persuadables. These are the people you should really target. You've identified them, you've qualified them as being the right people to approach. You've got your pitch ready, you've done the research on it, and you go to them. The more time you can spend persuading the persuadables, the better. The bottom left-hand corner are the lost causes. Maybe you've tried, maybe they've bought an alternative product, but they might not be happy with it. So every now and again, the same with the sleeping dogs, just keep them informed of the progress, real progress. Not fluffy releases about products and services which they already know about, but just something really news. And you use the technology to be able to do that. Because if you forget a customer, they will forget you.
Well, I think you're absolutely right, Stephen. I think, I sit here and unfortunately we're not all meeting face to face here, but a perfect example of persuadables is the company you helped found over in Europe many moons ago called Apple. Do we all need an iPhone? Do we need the iPhone S? Do I need an Apple Watch? Of course I don't need it. But I've been persuaded. Everyone thinks Oracle is very much enterprise only, and certainly it's not affordable for a small business. And so I guess that's where we're probably also messaging to everybody on this call. Oracle is very, very much open for business and open for small business. This is enterprise-grade quality applications, whether it's sales, marketing, and service, and we'll come back to that in a minute later on. But it is very much what I call democratizing the platform for everybody, whether you're a one-man band, right through to a Vodafone enterprise-level organization. So here on the screen in front of you, I'm just going to explain Stan Jones. He's one of these persuadables. D4, as you can see next to him, is just a methodology of scoring. Each different business that you're involved with will have a different score and decide. So it's not about D4 being someone that's opened up 55% of emails that he's been sent. It's someone that's engaging, who's turning up to webinars, who's coming along to your, who's raising trouble tickets, who's having sales meetings, who is interacting with your organization. And that can make up the score. And I want to repeat it again, and Stephen said it earlier on. This is not just marketing. It is all the way through the organization, from sales, marketing, service, and online, and obviously through social channels as well. And Stephen, talk us through this slide here in terms of the connected customer experience. What does that mean?
Well, it's the complete connected customer experience. It brings all the departments and all the aspects of the information you've gathered about a client together. In fact, this is an opportunity for business owners or department owners, if they're the people responsible for their customer interactions, to actually look at their actual culture. Now, I'm not talking about some PR thing and you'll wear T-shirts and face the same way at dawn. This is the way a business actually does stuff to its customers, to investigate it. 5 departments could do it and 1 department could do it wrong. And suddenly you lose that way of actually giving a customer a great experience. Implementing new information systems means the business as a whole can glue itself together on a common platform. It reduces duplication of efforts, and actually the investment Oracle have made in coming out with their different aspects of software, whether it be for sales or whether it be finance and so on, they've actually done half the integration before it even gets to your business. So it's easy to use, and the one thing which is the resulting of this is a great customer experience, which helps you win customers and most of all stops you losing them. BPR have had great success with its implementations over the last 5 or 6 years. Some of the numbers are here. Look at that, lead pipeline increase by 300%. Imagine coming in on a Monday morning to your business, which really needs some business coming in, and you can see the customers in the pipeline. The deal close rate increasing by 65% because the sales management, the CEO, the service manager all can see how they can help close that deal. And business growth is a natural. You've got to grow to stay alive nowadays. The profitability increase because you're not wasting resource. And the customer satisfaction scores, as high as 97% has been achieved. This is good, measurable stuff. But most of all, customer churn is at 0 because you're not losing customers because you're looking after them.
Absolutely spot on. Most people, when they think about technology, they think the technology itself is going to answer the question. It's going to answer all of their problems. Is it the technology that's driving customer churn to 0 in one of our clients? Is it the system that's improving lead pipeline by 300%? The answer is absolutely not. It's an enabler to help you understand. The other fear I think most prospects, clients might have about going on this journey is fear. I'm worried about putting all of my data in the cloud or changing what I've got currently. And I think what I'd like to say is one of the key successes that BPI with all of our clients has had, and the award that we've recently won only 2 weeks ago, was voted by our customers, because we stay, bullet point number 4, we stay with our customers for the whole time they use the system. And rather than saying, right, Stephen, crumbs, what, after this webinar, I've got to get everything. I've got to get marketing, sales, service, customer, social. I've got to implement all of that now, have I? And the answer is no. Provide the full setup and training. People worry about how am I going to get training out to all of these people? How do I get all of this investment? And I guess bullet point number 3 is kind of critical to that journey. There isn't a large investment up front anymore. The cloud and Oracle have really helped us in this industry, in this world now. There isn't huge amounts of servers and data centers to go and buy anymore. You just simply subscribe. You simply start with a pilot and get that journey started. And BPI will help improve your business all the way through. Now, the diagram on the right-hand side is actually quite important to understand. It's a full circle that keeps on going. One of the key elements, though, that BPI brings to the party is it's not just about technology. We understand that people are involved. We understand that we need to coach people into the new way of working, sharing and collaborating versus keeping all of my accounts in my Filofax or my Outlook. And these are changes that we have all kinds of tricks and tips for to drive that completely integrated view and single view of the customer. Here are some telco customers already winning with the BPI Cloud and Oracle's cloud applications. And most of them are on sort of the middle of the journey now. Some of them are right at the beginning of the journey. Rugbytel over there, we've got First Class Comms, Evoke Telecom. These guys are starting their journey. Whereas solar communications in terms of your industry, we're driving a multi-step now. We've got customer service and sales, and now talking about marketing joining that journey. So we've finally got that single view of the customer. And it's incredibly powerful for the end customer. You've got DHL, you can see Vodafone in there. They're very large organizations. They're using the same Oracle system. No different. So it is for everybody. And now, thanks to the way that Oracle prices it as a per user, per month subscription software as a service, it's available to everybody at an affordable price, no matter what size of company you have, an organization you have. Is the biggest pain in sales? They don't enter opportunities into CRM. Well, you don't have a CRM. You're still on Excel spreadsheets or Access. So we can start with the biggest pain point and then begin the journey from there. And one of the elements that BPI brings to the beginning and where do we start is a whole process design, is understanding what do you do in your organization that may be different to others. So great question. Recommendation is really that you start in a modular fashion and then build it together. And thanks to Oracle, because it's already pre-integrated.
Yeah, that answers perfectly the question. And there is another one that is really interesting. What is the biggest impact typically within the sales, with the marketing, the service? What would you say is the area that impacts the most?
I think it's all of them. It has to be all of them. This is the whole point of what we're talking about here. This is a shared common platform, and therefore a company should share right across the piece. Sales will be happy because they sell more and get their bonuses. Marketing will say they've actually helped deliver it all, and customer service are not going to get many calls because actually it's worked there. Everybody will benefit from this. The CEO, the CFO will be happy because they'll get a return on that capital they've spent and the investment in it. But what they've got to ask themselves is not where the biggest impact will be, is if they don't do it, the biggest impact will be right across the whole company because they won't be keeping their customers, they won't be winning new customers, and they won't be keeping up with the competition. And I'm saying today, technology and these systems are helping change the way businesses operate, and therefore everybody should benefit from it, and the biggest impact is the business stays in business.
I'm happy to offer you a completely free hours session as a minimum. Now, I know Stephen doesn't look at his watch that often anyway, so you'll probably get more anyway. But we're happy to offer you a free hours session as a minimal to just begin the conversation. Yeah, where should I get started? For each of your organizations is going to be very different. So we'd love to offer you that. And obviously Oracle would be extremely proud and pleased to share with you some demonstrations.
Again, thank you very much for attending and have a nice day.